Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Unpopular View.
Thank you all for clicking on our faces.
New flag with all that.
Okay, so I wrote down some notes.
Let's do that. I don't want to sit through hard garbage.
That's twice. That'll probably go over about as well as Colonel Division.
Because there was no Jay White site.
Okay, just straight up gangbanging.
This story has been fit.
You gotta pay attention.
So Unpopular Review does not. What is she the CEO of, Chris? Jesus, golly.
Let's start the show.
Hello, everyone. Hello, thank you for clicking on our faces. We're back. We're back. We seem to never stray too far from our CW home. This was, our humble beginnings with talking CW shows.
No, it is, and it's crazy because I thought that Superman and Lois was going to come out on another date, and then when it was on Monday, I said. So I watched wrestling on Monday. I said, this is a terrible thing. But I'm looking forward to talking about these two episodes. I don't actually have, real quick, if I can take the floor real quick here. First off, shout out to you, Silhouette. We see you in the chat. You was the first one here, so we want to give a shout out to you. You said that you're doing stuff in college and continue to do the amazing stuff that you are doing, sir. Thank you for joining us. And also, too, I usually like to have like a Mama Bad Guy report because she was watching these first two episodes. I don't have a report except that we both can agree teenagers suck.
Oh, well, yes. Teenagers suck. Bad guys suck. But like we were saying, Silhouetted and Writer does not suck. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us tonight. But now, before we hop into the episode, we'd like to start with a little news that's going around in, entertainment world. And I found a little something, and I wanted to hear your thoughts about it, Jack, because let's pull up the slide here. Robin Pattinson's Batman won't be the DCU's Batman. So this whole James Gunn universe that he's putting together, they're not going to be using Matt Reeves' Batman, aka Robert Pattinson. So, and there seems to be a little bit of influence from Matt Reeves in that decision. So let's read this clip here, courtesy of CBR.com. It says, besides this bit of news, Gunn shut down a rumor avowing that The Brave and the Bold would only be released after Matt Reeves' Batman trilogy had ended. Gunn also delved into why Reeves' The Batman universe wasn't made a part of the DCU, declaring that it's not an allowed thing. It's Matt's choice. And we respect that. The Brave and the Bold currently does not have a release date. So just a little quick aside, The Brave and the Bold is going to be James Gunn's kind of introduction into the DCEU for Batman. It's going to be allegedly an older Batman, and it's going to involve Damian as his Robin. So I think that's going to be.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay.
But with that being said, how are we skipping over all these Robins? We're going straight to Damian. I don't know how you guys feel.
You know what it is? I think everyone's tired of Dick. Dick has been around for a long time, and they said, you know what? We've had Dick for too long. We need to get Dick out of here.
What about Jason? My boy Jason. What's up with the Red Hood? We skipping over him?
I mean, all seriousness, you should start off with Dick off rip. Jason, I feel like don't get enough acknowledgement, and I would love for that because I would love to actually see a live action Red Hood. I know that they had it on, what was it called, Titans, right? They had was he Red Hood in there? I never saw the show. Was he Red Hood?
Titans.
Okay. And then you also have, I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the third one, the third Robin.
Tim Drake.
Tim Drake. So yeah, I don't mind him going to Damian. Damian is a pretty dope Robin as well. The stuff about so I'm confused here, right? And it honestly don't take much for me to get confused. So you're telling me, hey, we'll have this Batman, but he's not part of the universe. But we have this Batman who's going to be, and I get that they want to have their DC universe.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, great. But why are we having two Batmans simultaneously?
I don't mind it. I don't mind it. I feel like we've done it before, so we can do it again. But let's see. Let's get into these comments here. I figure Batman will be mid-30s in the DCU version, and maybe Wayne is conceived during his early training years around Bruce being around age 20 or something. Yeah, that seems to be the case. They did kind of hint at Batman coming into this universe as slightly older than Superman, and the actor who portrays Superman in the upcoming movie is around 31, so maybe mid-30s, late 30s, somewhere around there. We're getting a Robin movie called Dynamic Duo. Woo! Really?
So we're getting Dick and Jason.
So would this be animated or live action? Because I didn't hear anything about live action. Would this be in the animated realm?
It's animated. He's saying,
yeah. Got it.
Oh, good job. Silhouette is like really on the post there. Good job. I think, you know what I think is fun about that? I know there's stuff in the comics, but I'm just not as into the, I'm not like, you know how some people, they know comics very well. That's not me. But I don't know how often that you get Dick Grayson and Jason Todd together. And there's something interesting about that because they both have different philosophies in life, right? Mm-hmm. Both trained by Batman. Dick Grayson really follows the Batman code. Jason is like, nah, dude's got to be eliminated. And it makes me interested in seeing a live, I'm sorry, not live, animated version of this. Because once again, Jason Todd, and I feel like in later years, he's been getting a lot of highlight. I mean, there's this thing, I don't know if you ever saw it, but it was called like Batman Japan or something like that. And it was dope that they had like Dick Grayson, you had Jason Todd, and I want to say Damian one, because I don't think they had Tim Drake's. I think it was Batwoman. I forget. It's been a while since I watched it, but it's a fun watch, is my point.
Nice. Well, speaking of Batman, tonight after our show, the Penguin episode 4 is coming out. So tomorrow evening I'll be doing a live after show. So you join me there for that on this channel, Superior. But let's get into this show. Let's get into Superman and Lois. We're going through episode 1 and 2. And with that being said, we're just going to go over a couple of the highlights, not necessarily play-by-play, but things that were interesting that we both kind of saw. Earlier in the comments, Silhouette Animator mentioned the name drop of Brainiac, which was a great catch. That was really interesting, but we did get that. But to start off, we get into the season 4. We are still in the battle between Doomsday and our boy Clark. It's like the last season, it kind of ended with the battle just beginning. And we see what goes on in the fight in this episode. Now, Superman was getting it handed to him. I ain't gonna hold you. He was he was getting his butt beat left and right. There was a point where, of course, he did, kind of get charged up again by the sun. But unfortunately, it didn't seem to be enough to win the battle. And again, this is full spoilers, guys. So if you join the after show, be prepared to have after show spoilers because we're going into it because our boy Clark didn't make it out. He didn't make it home. Only the body. Doomsday dragged him back. What we saying?
I was going to say he definitely made it home. He just didn't make it alive.
It didn't make it home alive. And it was so sad because our family, Lois and the boys, they were just so broken about it. And rightfully so.
Yeah.
And the way that Doomsday drugged back the body in the middle of town square, right? Everyone was all around. And it wasn't until our girl, Lana, coming to save the day, telling the sound folks, hey, let's give them their privacy. She's been close to Superman, been covering him all of these years. Let's give them their privacy. And I'm like, okay, well, that's not suspicious.
No, you're absolutely right. And there was a guy, and I know I'm jumping the gun here, so don't mind me here, but there was a guy who peeped immediately like, nah, there's something here. Matter of fact, right, immediately like, nah, because I went through that. I know that. Yeah, no, this was brutal stuff. To highlight something Silhouette said, this was brutal. I mean, this fight between the two, and one of the things I did like, I mean, they did touch on the fight, but they focused on a lot of other things, and they would go back to it. And I think they did a great balance of that. And I also think that but I was watching this fight, right? Like I know, look, the comic is Doomsday and the death of Superman and all that stuff. But when you know Superman is pretty much like unbreakable. And when I
Yeah.
was seeing him get punched by Doomsday, I was like, yo, he's really hitting Superman. Like, it's not often you see Superman his face do the, I call it the fat jiggle, where the face goes like, yeah.
And shout out to I don't know if they're called the animators, but special effects people for the show because it looked pretty good. But it's this is CW. This isn't. They don't have DCU budget. They're doing it on CW budget, and I feel like they did a really great job with those visuals. Just as a point, I think I took a screenshot or I found it online. There was this one image that was like really clear and really beautiful. I said, "Oh wow, this is look at that. It looks good, right? It looks pretty
I
good."
think they look pretty good. I mean, I think when you realize like CW, this not going to be like the DCU movie, like those kind of graphics, but you look at it from a TV perspective. I thought it was fine. Like, I'm not going to sit here and go like, oh, this is trash, bro. I'm just going to go like, okay, they don't have that same budget, but nonetheless, I thought it was cool. I thought it was great. And like that visual again, when you see them, I mean, and also too, you see the earth in the background.
Yeah.
I thought it was a really good touch. I thought it was a great visual. So yeah.
Well, shout out to the chat. We got 16 of you guys here tonight so far. Thank you for being here. If you like the video, if you like the video, and join us in the chat and let us know what you thought about the show.
Please.
But to bring it back to our characters, we do see that following the death of Superman, our boys, Jonathan and that other boy.
I feel so bad. We don't know. Is it John?
No, it's Jordan. It's Jordan.
Okay, Jordan. Jonathan and Jordan. Okay.
Yeah,
Jordan.
here we go. This is the picture I want.
Jordan.
They're like trying to kind of figure out what they can do in order to help out their mom, right? Because if they're dealing with the death of their father, they're still feeling like, okay, well, what can we do? After they discover his body, or not discover, but after his body was thrown out into the street, Lois came up with the idea of bringing him back to, now the name is escaping me.
It's gonna hit me. I know you're talking about the solitude of
Fortress of Solitude.
Fortress of Solitude. The solitude of Fortress.
Yeah. And they were able to suspend Clark's existence in a way, kind of preserve him while his mom tries to figure out if there's any kind of Kryptonian, I guess, cure.
Right, the technology, but they need his heart. I mean, and this is also too that makes it so brutal. Like, when they did the, and I mean to cut you off, apologies, but like when you talk about like the intro to bring us back into season 4, and Lex Luthor, he says the thing about bring me his heart. I didn't know he meant that literal because he really. And then the mother is going like, I can't do nothing unless I have his heart. And Lex Luthor, I gotta say, I mean, I know he's supposed to be trash, but I was really feeling this guy.
Really?
He's a great Lex Luthor. Like, I thought that he really stood on business. And and that's what I liked about him. Now, don't get me wrong, trash on what he's a trash human being. Got you. But as a villain, I thought he was really, and I was telling my mom this. I was sitting there talking with her about this. And I was like, yo, he kind of won me over. Season 3, he gets out of jail and he's walking from the jail to Smallville. That seemed like a pretty big walk, but he's like, "No, I'm going to get there." And I also thought the stuff about him, and he would have like, what was it, like not a hotel, but he had like a room right next to where Lois is working. I think there's some ballsy stuff. Like,
yeah, he purchased that building with a shell company in order to like keep an eye on Lois, which is like, ew, like, bruh. And he has this whole vendetta against her. They did touch on it in the episode where he comes to her job, right? And he pretty much says, yeah, you made it personal with me when you allowed me to go to prison off of something that I didn't do. You brought my daughter into this. And he said, you brought in my daughter, I'm bringing in your sons. An eye for an eye. Everyone's getting it. So I was like, dang, these boys are curtains. I do like this Lex Luthor. I feel like he's very, rugged in a way that isn't often seen in Lex Luthor and other iterations.
Right.
but I do feel like it is missing certain elements of Lex Luthor that are familiar and are more canon to the character. Him being like this super genius, this wealthy, and of course he has money. They've spoke about this,
They made it clear, yeah.
but something about him doesn't give off
Lex
genius,
Luthor.
billionaire, corporate
and
charm.
you're so right about that, actually, because there's certain elements, like I think about all the different Lex Luthors I've ever seen, from animation and live action and stuff like that. So right, and I think they took liberties with this Lex Luthor and he made it his own, and I think that he's done a great job making it his own, even though it's not like a traditional Lex Luthor. Because first off, Lex Luthor don't have a beard. Like, let's put that out there. He don't have that. This guy gives what was that show? Art. It's something with the bikes. I just can't think of. Yeah, look at that. Like, look at him right here. Like, Lex Luthor never had. I mean, I know he had hair, but like that goatee, that beard, not at all. But I love that he made it his own. I love that this Lex Luthor is. I don't want to jump too far ahead, but like also not giving the hair. Okay, are we still talking about episode 1? Because I was gonna say in episode 2.
Oh no, we can talk about them. We can combine.
Okay, we can combine. Okay, cool. So the spot where he does the thing with Jordan and Lex Luthor here look like middle-aged Johnny.
I can see it because he was looking a mess when I was like, what is going on with this look here?
Whoa, mama. I love it. I didn't even think that. Now I'm gonna say middle-aged Johnny Bravo. Fantastic. But the spot in episode 2, and this is one of the things that really upset me about Jordan, because Lois kept saying, like, dude, leave him alone. We'll figure this out, but you gotta trust the process, right? And him going and trying to confront. Now look, Jordan has all this power, and yes, he needs to change. He looked like the Phantom or something like that. This gear is not doing nothing for him. It's not helping him at all. But when he confronts him, and Lex Luthor looks at him and he's like, yo, what? Like, if you're going to do it, do something. And I think there's a scene where Lex Luthor's walking and then you see Jordan flying back, like slowly levitating back. I was like, yo, bro, like, you're doing too much. And he's like, yo, you're Superman's kid. And he put the pieces together, realizing that that's Superman's kid. Lois has something to do with this. I loved how he stood his ground, because he said, if you're going to kill me, kill me. He didn't do it. And also, too, when he makes a power move and he goes to Lois, or Lois goes to him, I forget which one, and he says, like, oh, you're Superman. Oh, you and Superman was a thing. Okay, cool. Hey, kid, did you have powers too? Like, I just thought it was so bad.
Jonathan.
Yeah, Jonathan. And I'm laughing at Jonathan. He doesn't say nothing. Oh, it's good you don't have powers. It doesn't help you out at the end. Yeah, Jonathan had that face right there. That's pretty much me on Payday.
I've been feeling this way since last season. I'm really liking Jonathan. I like that he's, becoming more level-headed, and he's kind of like the not the peacekeeper, but he's the most calm and the one who thinks out things the most, I feel. And I enjoy that with his character. But Jordan, on the other hand,
and one of the things I tried to give a pass, because I said, oh, he's a teenager. We were all teenagers, and I know that we all didn't make the best decisions in the world. But it's actually irritating as an adult when someone is trying to inform you, like, hey, don't, like Silhouette saying it right here. Jordan basically outed that he had powers in front of Lex. And that was the thing that was so annoying about it, where I'm like, yo, bro, like, you didn't have to do that. Like, they kept saying, don't do it. And they were telling him that since season 3. And he still kept doing it. And he didn't, like, that's why what's going on, Charmaine? That's why with Luthor, he was like, either do something or kiss me. Like, like, what are we doing here? And it was just annoying, honestly. It was very much annoying.
Yeah, my thing with Jonathan, and we kind of see, with Jordan, and we see Lois mention it to, it was Rhonda. They had their sit down, and she was kind of, first telling her that the town's guy knows that you're Superman's wife, right?
Right.
And secondly, Lois was kind of mentioning how Jordan was so brash and how she thought his powers, when he got them, would be good for him, considering, all of the struggles he was having pre-powers. But it just seems to like amplify certain issues that he's having, like his need for like attention and his kind of headstrongness. And
Right.
there comes a point in the episode, in episode 2, where she gets a call from,
Ooh.
Clark, who she thought was Clark.
AI
And
clock.
just like an AI version of Clark's voice, pretty
Right.
much letting her know that, hey, the boys are in trouble and you have an option to save one or the other. And I thought this was really interesting to do in this show. And of course, she didn't want to choose. She's like, just stop this or whatever. And it got down to the last second. It's like, if you don't choose, they're both going to die, right? And we see she has her phone, but we don't see if she chose 1 for Jonathan or 2 for Jordan. But we do hear a tone, right? We do hear a tone. And based off the tone, because I paused it and then I listened to the keys on my own phone to hear if I can kind of match it up, if it was the tone of a 1 when you press it, or
Oh,
if you press, because I'm a sneaky, I like to figure shit out.
I know you do. No, 100%. Yeah. But what did you get?
And based off of what I heard, again, I could be wrong, but when I tried it on my phone, it sounded more close to the tone of 2, meaning that she picked to save Jonathan and not save Jordan. And I'm like, okay, was that what they trying to, let us know how she was feeling about him? Like,
And not for nothing, I know it's going to play back into a later episode. And I just want to highlight a little bit of what Silhouette is saying. He said, yep, I think she picked the kid with powers, joy, and Jonathan will find out later. I kind of think that she picked Jonathan. Great job on you on honestly, Mystery Inc. would love you on their team one, see the superior. But I feel like she picked Jonathan. And I think there's a few things in it. One, it's Jonathan. There's a few things. Jordan have powers and he can handle himself. And also, too, Jordan's kind of a pain in the ass.
yeah.
So, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I honestly, like, she's a mom, so it's hard to pick and choose. But if I was her, I'm picking Jonathan, because I said he's more level-headed. Jordan is already out here doing crazy stuff. You can't control Jordan. One like episode of anger, you snapped into. He's not calm like Clark. He doesn't have the same temperament as Clark. So, and there was a point in the episode where she mentions to Jordan, "You're not like your father," and he was so hurt by it that she had to add "yet," right? But he didn't even, by that point, he wasn't even listening to the "yet." He was just listening. "You're not like your father. I'll never be." This is his villain origin story. I swear to God, this day after the rejection from Sarah from last season, him, father, and him, I'm telling you, it's all kind of coming together.
I love the story that you're putting together, because you're saying if there was a season 5, this kid would be over the edge. This kid would be the main villain.
Yes, the only reason he's not going to be a villain is because this is the final season. If this was going on for another season or 2, he would definitely have his villain arc.
One season superior, give it time. We're going to make the script for season 5, and we're going to throw it out there. So you wait and see. Season 5 is coming, guys. We just need 2 years to just come up with everything in the budget.
But I really liked how they played the ending of that episode with us not seeing who she chose.
Yeah.
We kind of speculate and all of that. I really liked that. And I really like that we got a little bit more of Lana, because Lana's my girl, and I like to see her.
Lana's a sweetheart, yeah.
Yeah, she does everything that she can for the Kents. And when she was delivered the news via Sarah, another character who I do not like, that Clark is actually dead. They couldn't get his heart. Lex ended up stepping on the heart. And Lana broke out in tears. She said, "I've known Clark since he was a kid, that was her first love and all of that." So I felt really bad for Lana in that scene.
Right, yeah.
Go ahead.
No. I'm sorry, because I was reading the thing. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Let's get into some of these comments here. We have, so what do you say here? Also, I don't think that was Clark's actual heart. I think Lex has some further use for it. You know what? It did look small, but I was thinking when we saw it, when Doomsday handed it over to Lex, it looked cute. It looked like a damn ribeye steak. I was like, what is this?
Well, to be fair, I don't know how organs really work here. So walk with me here. maybe the heart shrunk after being not in his thing for so long. I honestly think when you said that, I remember having this conversation with one Mama Bad Guy, and at first I was like, nah, I don't think he did. But this Lex Luthor seemed like to me that he wouldn't give the opportunity. Like he wouldn't, I feel like he would do it just to, one, to prove a point, and also two, never to leave any doors or any opportunity open. I don't think that's the Lex Luthor. I don't see that with this Lex Luthor. I see this Lex Luthor as someone who's like, nah, you're not, like, no, you're never going to have an opportunity. I think that was his actual heart. But I also sit here and think that he stepped on his heart. Yeah, sure, that might affect a human, but we don't know how Kryptonians' hearts work. So I'm throwing that out there as a possibility because I thought about that. And yeah, I mean, I believe Superman will be back before the season is up. I think they did a great job on making you think that he was really dead because they had the hologram thing.
Oh yeah,
and I think that was a really good, like, yeah. So it made me sit here and believe completely, but I still sit here and think that he's definitely coming back. And yeah, no, I think Lex Luthor definitely stepped on his heart. And that's another thing too about that scene. Just to dig a little bit in that scene where, once again, you was mentioning Jonathan. He's level-headed. He's like, yo, bro, it's a trap. It is a trap. And he does it anyway. He's like, yo, bro, I gotta get Dad's heart. I have to get his heart. And he flies there and he said, Lex Luthor can't stop me. I'm like, yeah, bro, didn't he like back you into a corner? What do you mean he can't stop you? Like, you're lying to yourself and you're embarrassing yourself.
Yeah, it's the ignorance of youth. But yeah, like I said, I don't very much like Jordan, but just to touch on a couple points that we haven't yet hit, we did see Daddy Lane, excuse me, he kind of was buried on the ground, and he fell for the tricks of one certain hot girl grandma right there in the back corner when he met her on that little dating site. She showed her true colors, ended up, burying him alive. And it wasn't until Lois and Jordan came through and were able to dig him out. And we also got a character by the name of Amanda this last 2 episodes. Here she is. She seems to be the right-hand woman of Lex. It seems to also be like some sort of romantic interest, possibly.
I like her.
I don't know about her. She seems to be has been running the company in his absence as he's been, in prison or whatever. And clearly she has some kind of affection towards him. And I'm wondering, is she like, is that, or that's not? No. They did mention something about Elizabeth, who was Lex's daughter. So in the show, how her mother has been poisoning her against him. So she can't be Elizabeth's mother. But clearly there's some kind of like romantic thing going on here.
And also too, what else too is like, so I don't know what Lex's age is here, right? But Lex looks so much older than her, so it could not be that woman could not even be, Elizabeth's mom. Yeah, no, I was saying I like it because I think she's just cute. But yeah, no, it's going to be interesting to see how all this plays out and see what more, because Lex Luthor is just on this I want to ruin Lois life tour, and just to touch back a little bit about what you was talking about earlier about the phone call thing. I'm interested on seeing when does that play out and how that's going to, because I feel like even in episode 2, Jordan was already, no, I'm sorry, not Jordan. Jonathan was annoyed with Jordan, like, and I feel like that's going to play into something. Like you see Jordan, once again, Jonathan level-headed, but he's also like, I told you, you can see how frustrated, and I feel like that's going to play into later into the season.
Well, we're going to see. Just getting to a couple of comments before we end the show. Please. We have Silhouette Animator talking about when Jordan smacked. Oh, is that the guy? Is that the guy in the corner, the big brute guy? I could have swore he died. And then they ended the episode talking about, they made a line which implied that guy was still alive. And I don't see how the way he knocked that man into like a space almost. I thought he died too. But yeah, that's crazy. Otis is like the burly henchman that survives insane damage and harm that would be fatal for the average human. Reminds me of Hun from the 2003 TNT cartoon. Oh, okay. See, I don't know what it is, but I don't know if he's been taking like some, super soldier serum or whatever, because he definitely should be dead at this point. I don't know how he survived that.
You know what I think? I think you guys are not realizing Otis is Kryptonian. So when he felt that, he said, "This is a Tuesday for me."
Okay. But yeah, that was just the breakdown of the first 2 episodes. Again, the CW shows, they always have a special place in my heart. I will always come back to the CW to watch a couple, DC shows. And I'm excited to get to episode 3 to see what's going on, and we finally get to see who Lois chose for sure. But yeah, like the video if you like the video. And Jackie,
hold up, whoa, real quick, because I know the show is ending. We went 30 minutes, and we want to thank you guys, 26 of you guys viewing us. So appreciate you guys. But one, see the superior. We are going to continue to talk about Superman and Lois. We're not going to do it on a Sunday, but what day are we going to be doing Superman and Lois? Why don't you tell the people watching?
got it. So we did a special episode today to talk about the first 2 episodes, but we will be continuing our after show discussions of Superman and Lois on Tuesday. So every Tuesday at 8:10 CPT, you join us on our channel.
Yeah, we agreed to 7.
Yeah. Oh, was it 8?
We said 7.
Oh, no,
7
7.
on Tuesday, because 8. I have a show to prep for around 8.
Okay, well, scratch that. We're doing every Tuesdays at 7:10 CPT, and to discuss the show. So Tuesdays at 7-ish, and Wednesdays we talk about Agatha All Along. So Agatha All Along, roughly around 10. Superman and Lois, roughly around 7. Okay, got it, guys? All right. Yeah, Tuesday at 7. Yeah, thank you. Silhouette's got it in the comments. You got it.
Look at that. Silhouette here. Silhouette. Thank you, sir. Silhouette, we want to give you an invite to the show one day. So if you are interested in joining us to talk about Superman and Lois, because this is going to be the last, he put it, the last show for the Arrowverse. But if you like Marvel or anything, we would like to have you on, because we do appreciate you. We see you in the chat. You give great information to help us out, because there's things that we might have missed. So thank you, One Silhouette, for being here with us. I don't know how long it's been, but we appreciate you, sir. And also to our third co-host, the American Dream Real Estate. He hasn't seen it yet, but please check it out.
All right. Thanks for watching. And again, if you liked the video, please like the video and join us next time. Bye.